Today on My World is Your World. Certainly we're glad to have you all here today. And we have some very special guests with us. We have the president of Riverside Toastmasters here, Jennifer Anderson. She's going to be talking with us about some very special things. And also we have the mouth of the South, Dan Bloodworth. He's going to be talking about Tabitha today, and you know he loves to talk about that grandbaby Tabitha. But right now we have joining us a very special man in my life. I'm glad that he was able to make it, and his name is Douglas Depew. Doug is going to be coming to us from Alltel, and he is a director there of the software engineering program, and you're going to find out some great things about him. Join me in welcoming Doug Depew. All right, come in, have a seat.
Thank you.
Doug, how's it going?
It's going real good, thank you.
Great, great. I'm glad that you were able to be here with us today. I thought the weather was going to keep you out, but you were able to fly in, and man, I'm just very grateful that you were able to make it. So we're looking forward to a great time and just hearing about your exciting life, some things that's very important to you. Now, you work for Alltel as the director of the engineering software, or software engineering area. Okay, but that's not your real passion. What's your real passion?
My real passion. Well, I'd say in my spare time, which there's not a whole lot of, but I really like to allow to consume my time, is working on old cars.
Old cars?
Yes.
Really? Really? Now, is this something that you have a lot of them? You have a collection of them?
Well, my wife would call it a collection. I had a 72 BMW 2002, a 73 2002 TII. Whoa. Sold the 72, now I also have a 90 325i.
Wow, looks like that's pretty extensive. So not only would your wife say it's a collection, but I would say it as well. So that's great. That's great. Now, do you like antique cars, or is it something, because you mentioning the BMW, you keep mentioning that's a part of your collection. So is it the antique cars that you like, or is it something specific about the BMW?
Well, I had a 67 Mustang when I was much younger. And I did love the old cars that you could work on without having to worry about having diagnostic tools.
Right.
And I just ran across an old BMW and drove it, and when they call it the ultimate driving machine, there's a reason for it. So it's kind of the need for speed, but also handling.
Oh, okay. Well, I certainly can understand that. BMW is a fascinating car. Now, you know, I have, and we've talked about this, a 78 Pontiac Grand Prix. Not the Grand Prix, I used to have the Grand Prix, I don't have that one any longer, but I have the Trans Am. And the Trans Am is something that I dreamed of having ever since back in '78 when one of my neighbors, he got one, and I just fell in love with it.
Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh yeah, Smokey and the Bandit, and all that was great, you know. So that was the theme, having the big bird on the hood. And that right there just stuck with me, and I always wanted one. So finally, I got a chance to get one a couple of years ago. Now, for me, that was my dream. Now, when did you really start getting interested in the BMW?
Well, I was actually looking for a car for my daughter that was inexpensive, and saw this ad in the paper, and I went and test drove it, and I thought, you know, I don't have time to teach her to drive a stick, but yet it's so much fun to drive. And I told my wife about the driving experience, and she said, buy it for yourself. Well, I was...
Your wife told you?
Yes.
Man, I should have married your wife. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I told her I don't need an extra car because we're saving for the daughter's college. So I said, well, why don't you take my car and you give her yours and I'll drive this. And she said, well, it needs work. You want to drive that every day? I said, yeah, because it's fun to drive. So slowly but surely I restored it. Then I found out that they had a performance model, the TII, which I really wanted, and ended up finding one.
Really? Now I think we have some pictures of that.
Yes, we do.
Let's take a look at it and see what you have here.
Okay. Let's see if we can start this up. 2002 is a 2-liter 2-door. Is how it gets 2002.
Wow.
That's a 73 that I purchased. Paid $2,300. The engine wasn't working. That's kind of what it looked like. I rebuilt the engine, started doing the whole engine bay. There I'm getting ready to paint the engine bay. Painted the engine parts all when I was putting it back together.
You did all this yourself?
Yes, I did.
Great.
And there it is before the hood's about to be put back on. And now I'm starting on the interior. Had the old seats with horsehair, stuffing, and putting in Recaros, stripped it all out, took out all the carpet, and then I took some undercoating and sprayed, makes it a quieter ride,
Okay.
plus seals it, will not let it rust, and I'm starting to fit the carpet in now.
Great.
So that's about where I'm at. A friend of mine has one in Pennsylvania, same year, same model, that's what he's got right there.
Wow. So now this is a performance model.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, okay. Now we talked about the fuel injection, and
Yes.
that was kind of uncommon for
Very
that
much
early
so.
on.
It is manual fuel injection.
Yeah.
Called the Kugel-Fisher fuel injection pump.
Cougar Fisher.
Yes.
Okay.
Kugel-Fisher.
Cougar Fisher, yes.
Yes.
I knew that. I knew that. Okay. Man, well, that's great. That's some great information. Now, let me ask you this. Now, do you ever race your car?
They have what are called autocrosses, which is
Okay.
driving through the cones. And I have done that.
Okay.
And I'm a guest. And it's just a fun machine to handle. And I had a Mustang try to follow me on Highway 300 once. And on the straightaways, they would catch up. But as soon as we go through the twisties, they were gone.
It's history, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Super, man. Now, have police ever caught you or stopped you?
Yes, I got pulled over once. I had my son with me, actually, and I saw him way ahead. I took the back roads to Russellville. And here he comes. He pulls me over. Come to find out, he wanted to look at the car.
Really?
He has a 1957 Isetta, which is a two-seater that BMW made, that the steering wheel actually comes out like this and you walk out of it.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that.
So he wanted to have a closer look at my car.
Well, we can understand that because that is a sharp looking car. I got a chance to see it now. Several months ago, I was coming into the office and I heard this loud noise and I was like, man, is Jesus coming? No, it's Doug DePew.
Much lower on the totem pole.
Much lower, much
Yes.
lower. Okay. So now with that, is it still as loud as it was or have you made some alterations?
That was the 90.
Okay.
And I thought there was a problem with the exhaust, and it appeared that it was fine. So except it was rattling, so I got under there, tightened it up, and I found out that the pipes going into the muffler, those welds are broken, so I've since replaced them.
Oh, okay.
So you won't hear me coming, but I will parse your hair.
Oh, I'm sure.
Well, maybe.
Well, a little bit. Yeah. Okay, now tell me about the value on these cars. Now we see this because a lot of times people say don't invest money into a car because it depreciates. Put your money into a house.
Yes.
Is this the same thing that we hear with the BMW?
Many
2002?
cars depreciate. After a while, if it's a collector, or what we call ours is a cult car, then they start appreciating again.
Okay.
In 2001, Money Magazine had an article, the best 10 places to put $10,000. BMW 2002 was listed. Yes,
To take $10,000 and put it into a car.
yes.
Now
When
that's
I
a great
purchased
investment.
mine, it
Okay.
was, I paid $2,300, cost $1,000 to rebuild the engine.
Okay.
Haggerty's insurance said you need to insure it for a state value of $11,000.
Wow.
Next year, $14,000.
What?
Last year, they said $18,000. This year, letter said $24,000. In fact, there was a article, let me show you a little, if I can get to this here.
Okay.
This is a commercial that BMW actually put out about the value of the cars.
There's you over there. Oh, I think it must have been 72, 73, something like that.
That's the year of my car.
I should got something like that stuff. Susan was driving the car around and around. I think she was going to come back for it. Oh.
Is valued better than BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Wow.
There you go.
Okay. So here was it with this guy. This commercial here, I think it came out around 2004.
Yes,
So that was your car,
yes.
Not exactly
Not exactly,
yours.
same model.
but same model.
Same.
And this guy saw it, loved it, wrote a check out, and allowed this guy to go and buy him a brand new one.
Yes.
That says a whole lot about the value.
I would say it's probably a down payment. A good down payment.
A good down payment, a good down payment.
Yes.
Now, I know that you put a lot of TLC into this car. You really like it. And I see that you have a love for it. And I know it probably drives your wife crazy. Or you drive your wife crazy talking about it all the time. But it's a wonderful thing. It's a great subject. Man, I am really glad that you were able to come and to share with us about it. And I know a lot of people now have found another vehicle, another avenue where they can put their money into an investment tool that will grow for the future.
Unfortunately, that might happen, and then all the others will go away. So,
Unfortunately.
we'll deal with that.
But we'll deal with that when that time comes. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Man, come back. You got to come back and see us now. We're going to hear about those other cars you have, okay?
Okay, will do.
Everybody, Doug DePew, let's go ahead and